Hey guys, we're Evan and Faith, and this weekend we're going to be doing this a little bit differently.
As of an hour ago, we decided that we are going to paint these. Can we do it?
Let me see if I can get this little baby. Oh goodness. It's out on the weekend. We've got these guys as well as a dog. We'll just hold her and say it. It is currently 7:30 on a Friday night. We're gonna try to knock this out before Sunday night. I'd put money on us not finishing. We've got 1, 2, 3, 12, 13, 14, 26, 27, 28. So we've got a total of 28 cabinets plus drawers. We've got an island. We've got to take out all these ovens and whatnot. Tonight, we're gonna try to knock out at least prepping. So when taking down the cabinets, be sure to label everything with painter's tape. And what we did is we started from left to right and we labeled the cabinets by number. And then what we did is we got sandwich bags and put numbers on those as well that correspond to the cabinets. Also, one additional thing we did just in case we forgot the numbering order, we actually took pictures with our cell phone that we could refer back to later. Some people say not to use a drill for this project when you're taking down the hardware, but in this case I was super careful and I was doing that just to speed things up. Just take into consideration, if you use a drill, you do run the risk of scratching up your hardware. All right, so we've wrapped up night one, like 10:30 right now.
This is probably the easiest part, right?
Probably. It's day two. What we're gonna try to do and knock out this morning is wash off the cabinets, get the primer painted. So to clean off the cabinets, we ended up using a vacuum to get the initial layer of dust off. And then from there, we used Crud Cutter to get all the grease and grime off, but you can use any general purpose cleaner for that step. So the next step is to sand down the cabinets. When you're sanding the cabinets down, your goal is not to completely strip everything off the cabinets down to the bare wood. What you're actually gonna do is you are going to remove the gloss from the cabinets. This does not take a ton of elbow grease, it just takes a lot of repetition, so don't feel like you've gotta put a lot of pressure into this step. You do wanna sand in the direction of the grain of the wood. To speed things up a little, you can have an assembly line going. So you can have one person sanding, one person vacuuming, and one person wiping down. Something that saved us a ton of time when we were doing this project was we put hooks into the cabinet doors that allowed us to spray both sides at one time. The way you do this is you're actually going to look for the side of the cabinet that's not going to be visible. So for example, if you're working on a lower cabinet, then the bottom portion of that cabinet is going to be closest to the floor and you're never going to see it. So we pre-drilled holes into that side and then we put the hooks in those pre-drilled holes.
3 o'clock on Saturday?
We're pretty much ready to go for the paint, except for we got to taper everything off, so that's what we're gonna do now. Hopefully that doesn't take too long, because like she said, it's 3 o'clock on Saturday, so we're kind of running out of time.
Plenty of time to make this happen though.
Yeah, but it's gonna be an all-nighter. So the proper way to mask a cabinet is you're gonna tape the inside of the cabinet, leaving enough excess painter's tape hanging off to eventually put the paper down. From there, you're gonna cut paper down to size and cover the portions that you've taped off. One thing that we didn't do that I definitely recommend doing is the middle portion where the paper overlaps. I would recommend taking painter's tape and completely covering that seam. When you're doing this, don't forget to cover the drawers. Otherwise, if you were to get paint inside, they could potentially stick. So it is 9:30 on day two. We're exhausted.
Evan's gonna wake up nice and early and he's gonna put a coat of primer on before I even wake up.
So don't do like us and underestimate how long it's gonna take to cover everything in plastic. You're really gonna wanna take your time at this step because it's the most important one. If you don't properly cover something, paint's definitely gonna get through to the other side, ruin your floors, appliances, whatever. When your house starts to look like a scene from Dexter, you know you're close. So it's 11:30 on Sunday and we are about to start on the first coat of primer.
So yeah, might be a little behind, but whatever.
To spray the paint, we used a HVLP gun, which stands for high volume, low pressure. This did become a little tricky at times because an HVLP gun does spray out air and it comes out at a force. So you have to be careful. That can potentially pull down the plastic, pull down the paper. So we were just kind of weary of that the entire time. When I got to the corners of the cabinets, I was extra cautious and I ended up using a paint shield. You can really use anything for this. You can use a cardboard box. You just want to prevent as much overspraying as possible. In our garage, we created needed an assembly line for spraying the cabinet doors. We had one section where we could take the cabinets to spray, and then we had another section where we could hang everything to dry.
All right, guys, it's 10:15 on Sunday night.
As you can tell by what's behind us, we didn't quite get there. Faith had to tend to the kids today, so we were a man down, but honestly, we made some good progress, and I think being able to do this project in 72 hours isn't too bad. In terms of would we recommend doing this project 48 hours, I'd probably, you'd recommend it?
So here's the thing, if you have enough people, you would definitely knock it out. However, since we didn't have that luxury, we kind of sometimes had 2 people, sometimes 1 person.
Yeah, that's true.
That's to me what really slowed us down. So I definitely think it's doable. Sanity wise, maybe not, I don't know. So we're actually gonna hop off here, get a good night's sleep. That way we can get up early in the morning, knock it all out. I think we'll be done like by noon.
We'll see. Yeah, we did not finish by 12 that following day. It ended up taking us the full 72 hours. You'll want to be careful when you're removing the paper from the cabinets. I ended up taking a razor blade and scored the edges just to make sure the latex paint wasn't sticking to the paper as I was taking it off.
All right, guys, that's it. This was a big project, but it was totally worth it in the end. We are so pleased with how our cabinets turned out. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. And if you didn't, you can double tap that thumbs down.
Hey guys, I'm Evan and Faith. Oh, you okay? No, Clark, stop. She's gonna take them off. No. And then. Oh. We've been able to do it.
All right, guys, it's our last day. We have about 15 hours. Nothing?
All right.
Do you know what we have left to do today?
Paint.
Prime, paint, and you've got to do the cabinets. Mark off the countertops.
What's up? Why are you?
Can I get in front?
Sure.
I'm the leader.
Person in the front looks the biggest.
Why are you breathing like that?
I'm just breathing.